Your next comic to the stage, please welcome Greg Schwartz, everybody. Greg Schwartz.
I am a 100% authentic New York Jew. All right, that's what I tell people. Truth is, I'm only like 96% Jewish. Yeah, the rabbi takes a small tip at birth. I am originally from New York, but I have recently made the move to become a permanent Floridian. Thank you. And when I came down here, I wanted to learn all about the state. I wanted to check things out, and holy shit, you have some of the strangest tourist attractions I've ever seen. We were driving around and we came upon the Fountain of Youth in Florida. I don't think it works. Tell you another bizarre tourist attraction you have down here. I don't know if you're aware of this, but did you know that Florida actually has a poop museum? I shit you not. But there is a museum up in Bradenton that houses the world's second largest collection of fossilized poop. And before anybody here even asks, the largest collection, still Congress. Yeah, thank you. Now, the main reason I made the move down to Florida, I've recently retired from my job. Yeah, thank you. I used to be a teacher. Thank you. And when people hear that, one of the first questions I'm usually asked is, what do you teach? Morons. I once had a student tell me that the Great Depression is what his mother suffered after he was born. Another kid actually asked me what year the War of 1812 took place. I think my favorite was the student who, after learning that seedless grapes were genetically modified to not have seeds, asked, "Is that like chicken and boneless chicken?" He was our valedictorian. I taught for 25 years, which was long enough to start having second-generation students, which is just a bizarre experience. And if you don't know what I mean by that, it's the first day of school, you're taking attendance, and a girl raises her hand and goes, "Mr. Schwartz, you had my mother as a student." I'm like, "I know, she's still sitting right next to you." I was a history teacher, and every year students would always ask me the same question. "When am I gonna need to know this?" "I don't know." "How about next year when you repeat the class?" I worked in an inner city school district up in New York, and we had a really, really big drug problem. There just weren't enough to go around. No, actually one day I did bust students selling pot brownies in the cafeteria. Yeah. I got sent to the principal's office. According to my boss, when a student is selling pot brownies, the appropriate response is not, "I'll take two." It's three. But I'll leave you with the hardest thing about being a teacher, and that's actually dealing with parents. Several years ago, some officials at the local Mormon church heard that I told my students that Mormons once practiced polygamy, plural marriages, and they waged a campaign to get me fired. I just said, "Listen, if you're that upset with what I said, why don't you come down to the school and let's discuss it during a parent-teacher conference. All right, my name is Greg Schwartz. Thank you.
One more time for Greg Schwartz, everybody. Yeah, very nice. And let's bring up your next comedian. Please welcome